He kept sisters and brothers. Welcome to the house of divinity. I am Proof B, or Professor Bates, Sifu for long. Greetings. So, it is 12 or December 25th, 2024. Dang that, but I missed yesterday, which would have been 12/24/24. But I got a lot done yesterday, so cool. But today is the day that they say, the Jesus was born. Now, millions and millions of peoples believe in the story of the Jesus Christ. So today, which is called Christ Mass or Christmas, if you break the word down, the first prefix of the word is Christ, and the second part of the word is Mass. So y'all call it, because you have not studied, Christmas. Okay. So what is it that you are believing in today? This one day out of the year. Well, maybe you start believing it a month or so ago. You know, it started getting into your head. You start riding around town and you start seeing stuff. Excuse me. People got lights. I mean, people be going all out with the lights all over their house. I mean, like lights. I mean, it took like hours. Because I be doing stuff up here just in this little room and then be like, damn, that took me all day. So people are into this stuff. They have statues. I thought you wasn't supposed to have no statues. Anyway, you know, statues on their lawn, lights all over their house, thousands and thousands, maybe millions and millions of dollars on Christmas trees and light bulbs and fires, and people depressed because they don't have the money to buy a present for somebody. Merry Christmas. So when y'all are practicing it, this thing called Christ. Now, I don't have no prejudice against nobody. You know, if you look like me and you still practicing Christ Mass, when tomorrow, the 26th, which is 8, it's a Taoist number, starts Kwanzaa. If you're in 2024 and you still practicing Christ Mass, hey, do you have a good heart? Are you trying to do good things? Do you have good thoughts? then you are my brother or my sister. It really don't matter what you believe, because just don't talk to me about it. Anyway, so around this time of year, everybody is driving around, walking around, taking the bus around, going back and forth to work or wherever. And, you see these, they call them scenes. Again, we go back to statues, which Christ people, Christians, are not supposed to be dealing with. But anyway, we pass by all these places, churches and houses and stores, blah, blah, blah. And around this time of year, they put up their statues. A statue of Joseph, the father, or the stand-in father, according to that story. The stand-in father for God. Mary, the mother, who actually, at least according to them, I think she did birth Jesus. And they might be in like a manger with a goat. Anyway, and there's another addition to this picture or this scene or these statues that are all over the city and the country and the world. And that is the statues, the pictures, the stories, whatever else, of the so-called 3 Magi. So I promised that on Christmas, I would start talking about the Magi. Why did I do that? Because if I say something, then I got to do it, because this is a lot. I don't even know if I want to talk about. Anyway, I'm going to try to stay on the surface and not talk about it on YouTube, Facebook, AI, all that garbage. But this is the time. It's like, okay, it's time to talk to people. If you're a teacher, how do you reach people? Don't nobody talk face to face anymore. Hey, brother, how you doing? Hey, sister, how you doing? That's how I used to teach. But anyway, I'm getting off the subject. So, the story in the Bible about the Jesus and the 3 Magi. I tore it out the Bible. I hope you Bible people don't mind. You look backwards at me, but I believe you got it forward. It say Matthew. That's the whole Jesus story. 2 pages. That's the whole story in the Bible. Oh, wrong one. Wait. The Gospel according to Matthew. I was trying to find them numbers like Matthew, but I guess you start out at 1. But the story is, well, I can't see too good, so read the daggone 2 pages. So, once you get past the belief and fantasy of the Bible, you might want to go on and get into some real information and knowledge, like stuff that really happened. So some of you who already may have been studying the Magi may have heard of or came across a book called The Revelation of the Magi. You might say Magi, well, I'm not going to get into that. And this is a book by Brent Landau, and he was supposed to be doing some research in the Vatican. Are they listening? No, he's supposed to be doing some research in the Vatican and came across the actual manuscript, I think in Syriac, written by the actual, I don't believe nothing unless I'm there, but when you read this book, here go the Bible story. Now this book, wait a minute. Now this book is supposed to have been written by the actual Magi. And in the Bible, it don't say nothing about there just being 3 Magi. Why would Herod be like, the king be like, who are these guys? I want them to come over. 3 guys come into town from nowhere, and the king knows about it? No, they came with a crew. This is the book supposedly written about them. That is substantially more pages than the Bible story. Anyway, when you read this story, it tells you a little different story about the Magi than the Bible story would give you. You understand? So I guess like in this bed chamber chat stuff, I'm going to move into telling the story of the Magi, because I am of that lineage. So that's one. This is supposed to have been written by the actual more than 3 Magi. Deep stuff. And then we have, this is actually a book by an acquaintance, kind of friend, because I used to teach in the same studio. He actually took over after I left years ago, blah, 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 blah. And he also does a lot of studying and teaching and all that type of stuff. And I know him from New York because we were both, he was selling like crystals and all that stuff on 125th Street in Harlem, New York. And I was selling Kung Fu stuff. I was like the only brother on 125th Street selling stuff that I had to go to Chinatown, like, you know, like the balls. Yes, I was selling balls, Chinese balls. I'm not going to sell black, but anyway, this is his book. Mfudushi Jemhutis Hassan Salim. And the brother, you know, I've known him, you know, kind of known. It's not like one of them people you hang out with, you understand. But I actually introduced him to a sister years and years ago when he was doing a Medu Netta, or the language of ancient Egypt class, and they had a dance company, blah, 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 blah. So I go way back with him. But now, as you may notice, his book says, excuse me, Magi. Excuse me. and he spells it with a Y, so that's a big problem in the so-called Kemetic or ancient Egyptian or black community of people who study ancient Egyptian stuff. They can't get the words together. Even on that level, people still like, I don't believe in that word. Stupid shit. Anyway, so that's his book. They don't talk about each other in their books. So we're going to get into that a little bit because he gets into actually one specific brother, but this is like a story of what happened with this specific brother, Metu Hotep. We'll get into him later, but this is a brother that was, I guess, the king, you would say, pharaoh of Nubia. And he knew Nubia started ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt. So when they started getting stupid, he took an army over there, took it up there or over there, whatever, took it over for a few years till everybody got straight, and then he left and went back to Nubia. That's a bad mother, because nobody do that. Let America go somewhere and take over and see if they come back home. So the third book in the SADS, because I got all kind of stupid information that I don't know if I want to put on video. But the third book deals with kind of like the science of finding or the research of and following the path of the so-called Magi. Now we're back to the M-A-G-I. Magi. Now, I'll get into it later on, but there's specific things. I believe that the Magi actually are, what do you call that? I guess descendants or ascendants, whatever, of the Magi. So I have to get into all that. Why do I know that? So in this book, what's his name? Oh, Adrian Gilbert. He got famous for saying that, it's a European that was like, it was black people that ran Egypt, and when he say that, oh shit. But anyway, he wrote this book, and this book is like trying to follow the path of the Magi. Finding the places that they stopped, finding their graves and all that type of stuff. So this is like a scholarly research on the Magi. So I might throw some other things in this section of marijuana, kung fu, yoga, but I think these will be enough. So, excuse me, stop the music. I think those books will be enough to talk about. Now, the one thing that none of them talk about, and I forgot to bring the books, I have books. The one thing that none of them talk about besides each other, because I'm going to put up over there where you see the TV at, I'm going to put up a chart of Egyptian yoga. I consider him one of my teachers, and he has a whole nother twist on everything that I'm talking about. So he only talk about his stuff. And my other teacher in the middle, Netta, around that man, only talk about his stuff. And none of them, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why don't all three of them get together? And then I had a pyramid teacher in Harlem. He just talked I mean, he taught us about pyramids. I mean, smart. Anyway, that's where I'm going. None of those brothers talk about the actual technology or Tekken or obelisk that we dealt with. And what I found out that this technology deals with our melanin. Oh boy, here we go. And the melanin is actually what you might call magic, or it's the door to magic. And where do the word magic come from? Magi. Oh, that makes sense. So, what they don't talk about, kind of, this first thing I'm going to show, they might kind of, some of them, maybe around Nepal men might mention it. But anyway, this is an amulet that I made. See, an amulet, because it's not belief anymore. If you take a infrared photograph of this, you'll see that there's all type of sparkly electromagnetic energy and all that type of stuff. So every time you touch something and you have a specific idea, that idea can be transferred to whatever it is you're touching, especially metal and not so much wood and stuff. So an amulet holds certain energies of certain thoughts and actions. So my brother gave me this piece out here. My next brother to me, because I'm the youngest. I got other brothers. Anyway, so what I did, he gave me this piece, and he's always been like the one, even though he's always been the one we fighting because we grew up together, blah, 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 blah. But let somebody fuck with me. You understand? So my brother's always felt like he was, and I always meet people like that, but anyway, he always felt like he's the protector, blah, blah, blah. So that's what this piece represents for me. People always ask me about it when I used to wear it outside my shirt. But I took that and made the amulet because I put it on the Ankh. That's an Ankh, one of the first Ankhs that I made, and I got the chain to ground. But the image on the front, if you know anything about ancient Kemet, the gods, which y'all call gods, the divinities, always, their crown tells you who they are and what power they have. So everybody asks me who this is. I'm like, well, she don't have really like a crown, but she does hold the Ankh like most goddesses and gods do. So I have it on the Ankh, and I keep it on my body when I leave out of the house, but under my shirt so people can't put their eyeballs in energy. When you get into California, you gotta get into energy, man. You know, so they don't talk about what I'm going to be talking about, like just a little tiny one, but pyramid power. Oh, they stay away from that. But it's a whole science. Matter of fact, these scenes, I'm gonna start putting up the pyramid behind me. My pyramid that I take outside. So pyramids, they made those big giant things, and you mean they don't mean nothing? Like the biggest things on earth, and they don't mean nothing? The biggest stones, the biggest this, the oldest that, and it don't mean nothing? That's stupid. That's ignorant. Ranting. Ignorance. So we're going to get into the pyramid. And now this is not a actual obelisk, but I'm doing everything little and tiny right now. So this is going to represent the obelisk. What is an obelisk? Well, in ancient Kemet, we actually call it a Tekken. And the word technology. Y'all better get into AI. The word technology comes from Tekken. Now, you might know what a Tekken is because in Washington, D.C., they have one that they just built for whatever reason right in the middle of Washington. And then the other ones that are in America, Paris and Rome, all over the world, are thousands of tons of rock that they imported from ancient Kemet to what they call that one in New York, Cleopatra's Needle. Why would you take? They built one in Washington D.C., but the rest of them were taken thousands of tons from Kemet to New York to Egypt. I mean to the Vatican, to London, whatever. Why? Must be something to it, huh? And then there is the actual Ankh. This is, I believe this is the first Ankh I ever made. I believe, or it might be the second one. But I just found a whole bunch of pieces and I just put it together. I found some wire, and I found a pipe, and I found a little skinnier pipe, and I just wrapped it all together, and I put this is the grounding. I put it all together and I made me a big giant Ankh, because the goddesses and gods, the divinities, always have an Ankh. And then when you graduate out of the different ancient Kemetic mystery schools, they usually give you an Ankh to signify what you have accomplished. So I'm going to get into all that. But I think that's about it. I just want to merry Christ Mass to you people who still practice Christ Mass, Christmas. I hope you have a good day. But for now, I'm done. Peace, my sisters and my brothers. I'm out. Tomorrow starts Kwanzaa. I'll talk about that tomorrow.